Hey, my name's James Dixon. I hope you guys are well. House prices in London are officially crashed. They have crashed. What does a crash mean? Well, a crash means more than 10% down on an annual basis. Now, there are certain areas in London that have already hit that and more. So let's talk about that in this video. Now, before you jump into the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. I've got new content every single day. And also like the video as well, guys. That really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. So please do that while you're here. And comment below with any questions or thoughts. This is data from the land registry, just in case you want to know that's where that's from. And house prices are not looking good in a lot of London areas. So what's led to this? Well, inflation has been an absolute brutal impact on UK. You've felt that yourself, I'm sure, when you've looked at your gas and electric bill. Now, this inflation is what we call supply side. It's not often on the supply side. It's normally in cost of goods that you buy in stores and stuff like that. But you can't control it. And so there's been talk about rising interest rates won't do much to curb this inflation. So when we say supply side, we're talking about things like gas and electric. You cannot impact the price of gas and electric. It's just not possible. And so that then feeds into other industries like food, like transportation, and that is then putting the price of everything that you buy up. And so it's really hard for people to really control that. Just because we decide to spend less doesn't mean the gas or electric is going to get any cheaper, does it? And so maybe interest rates aren't going to help, but they are going up. And so there's a big thing here. Now, one thing that you'll hear in a minute is that interest rate rises that we've had are strengthening the pound. So the pound, you now get £1.28 to a dollar. It was nearly on parity, meaning $1, £1 at the end of last year. So it's got a lot stronger, and that means international buyers are going to leave the market. So for them, it's really expensive. So we talk about house price drop, but if you're buying in dollars or Chinese currency or any Asian countries, you're buying into UK, it's got significantly more expensive. So with house price drops and the weakening currency that they've got, foreign investors are going to be doing a lot less. So London is really hit hard at the moment, and that's often an indicator of things that will happen throughout the UK. Obviously, everything happens in London, and there's a huge population in London. So when an area like London is hit, it's going to make a big mix of the overall numbers that we get. But it's not all doom and gloom in London. So let's look at some positive impact that has happened in London. So Camden has not been massively impacted yet, but it might. And they are 2.1% up in the Camden borough. Interesting, right? So it's less of the really ultra expensive properties there, I'm sure you'll agree. Now, where else have we got? We've got Hammersmith. So Hammersmith is also up 3.1% on an annual basis, which is still not bad either. So Hammersmith has done okay. Lambeth is up in London 3.9%. Lewisham which is where my cousin lives, is up 4%. Good for them. I don't want their house price to go down if it doesn't need to. So these are the kind of the cheaper areas of London that have, some of you would disagree and say they're expensive, but they are some of the cheaper areas of London. They've had some annual growth. Now, they are, since we've had new like interest rate rises and stuff like that, asking prices are coming down in these areas. So we do think that prices are obviously going to drop or level out, at least in those areas. That's definitely true. So where are the prices down? This is shocking how much. So Kensington and Chelsea are locked into one. They are down 15.8%. 15.8%, that's officially a crash. And that's the first place in the UK that has officially crashed. Remember, a crash is 10% on an annual basis. 10% on an annual basis. So property in Chelsea has officially crashed. Now, that is an area that has a lot of international buyers for sure. And that's interesting because, as I said, with the pound getting stronger, not only have the house prices gone down, but they're getting hit by the fact that their currency buys less pound, right? They get less pound for their money. And so it could hit them in some currencies by as much as 20%. And so they're just going to hold off or not buy or buy somewhere else where the currency is better, maybe in their local market, I don't know. But that is going to have a big impact on those people. And Westminster as well. So Westminster is down 13% down in the Westminster area as well. These are big drops. They're pricey properties in those areas, of course they are, but they are some big drops. There's a lot of building work happening in Westminster at the moment. I drive up there once a month to go and have a meeting with some people that I mentor, and there's some big projects in the Westminster area. And so if they're not complete and maybe people haven't bought off plan, they could be in a lot of trouble. They could be in a lot of trouble, those sorts of projects. They might pause or, I don't know, face financial difficulty and get bought out by other investors. Who knows what's going to happen? But everything does start with London. Of course it does. That's what a lot of people will say. Lots of things happen in London. So the most expensive areas in London are officially in a property crash now. What do you think about that? Comment below. The outskirts, which is more suburbs of London where more normal people live, those are still hanging on by a thread. There is still some annual gains in those areas as well. So it's interesting. I think more interest rate rises are going to impact these areas. But these two areas here that have had this crash, I don't think they're so hit by interest rate rises because they're probably cash buyers. I think the bigger problem in those areas is the fact that the pound is stronger, and so their currency buys less pound, right? And that's what's causing the problems in those areas. I think that's the bigger issue for those sorts of people. But no one knows for sure, right? Nobody knows for sure. But it's interesting. That's it. First official place. I know a lot of people are saying we've had a crash. We first got that data in now. That is the first place that has officially crashed. That could be an opportunity for some people. If you're looking to buy properties, you want to buy them when they're on sale, right? You don't want to be buying properties when they're at the peak or just about to get to the peak. When they've crashed, that's a great time to buy. So maybe you're an investor, or maybe you want to learn how to be an investor. And if that's you, maybe join our property accelerator. I'm going to put a link below where you can join, find out how to buy properties. We did a video yesterday on how to buy properties for £1. It could be a really powerful thing to learn right now. It's a great skill. Property is historically very good investment. So do like the video, check out that link below, check out all the other content on my channel, including this video right here.